We'll talk about oral reading fluency. Our 4 objectives are to define fluency, explore the elements of oral reading and fluency, learn strategies for assessing fluency, and practice a close reading for fluency. Oral reading fluency is the ability to read text accurately and smoothly. It is a reader's ability to read quickly, effortlessly, and efficiently with good, meaningful expression. When fluent readers read aloud, their expression, intonation, and pacing sound natural, much like speaking. This does not mean that fluent readers never make mistakes. Fluency develops from reading practice. The same reader may read a familiar text fluently and a new, more challenging text less fluently. Fluency is reading with no noticeable cognitive effort. It is having mastered word recognition skills to the point of being so automatic that conscious attention to decoding is no longer required. Fluency is an essential component of reading, and it is something teachers should focus on as soon as students can begin to recognize letters and high frequency words. Fluency is the vehicle that takes a child from focusing on the words to focusing on the meaning of the text. When fluent readers read silently, they recognize words automatically. They group words quickly in ways that help them gain meaning from what they read. Fluent reading supports comprehension because pupils' cognitive resources are freed from focusing on word recognition, which is decoding and sounding out, and can be redirected to comprehending a text. To become fluent readers, students must first develop accuracy with letter-sound correspondence and whole word reading to successfully decode text. This allows them to read with few errors. Once accuracy is established, students build speed, which is the rate at which they read, and finally prosody, which is the skill of reading aloud with proper intonation, phrasing, and expression. In short, fluency involves decoding words effortlessly, recognizing irregular and high-frequency words automatically, and reading at an appropriate rate, neither too quickly nor too slowly, and paying attention not only to punctuation marks, but determining suitable interpretation of the passage through inflection, intonation, and voice to effectively communicate the meaning of the words on the page. Becoming a fluent reader requires mastery of several skills that need to be applied simultaneously for reading to appear fluent. These basic skills should be learned in isolation first. Then, as readers become more proficient at each one, they can integrate and combine them until they can read fluently with full comprehension of what is read. The foundational skills then come together to make a fluent reader, which include decoding, sight word recognition, vocabulary development, and the recognition of phrases and punctuation. The inability to read fluently usually develops when readers have problems with phonological skills, phonics and decoding, which leads to inefficient and labored decoding and difficulty developing automatic recognition of words. Insufficient time and practice reading connected text with accuracy once basic decoding is secured, insufficient exposure to and practice with fluent expressive oral reading, and problems with processing speed and other processing which affects the speed and accuracy with which printed words are recognized. According to the National Reading Panel, practice. Repeated oral reading is the best way for children to improve their fluency. This can include rereading a familiar text several times, listening to models of fluent reading, or engaging in choral or unison reading with a big book. Choose books that children can read with a high degree of success. If the book is too difficult, children will be bogged down with decoding, vocabulary, and comprehension questions, and their fluency will be hindered. To build students' fluency, give them support through a range of methods such as close reading, peer reading, choral reading, and repeated oral reading. We will take a look at some of these in the next couple of slides. For automaticity and accuracy, sight or high-frequency words are critical to reading not only because they are used so frequently, but also because many of them cannot be easily sounded out or illustrated. They are used so often, it's important that readers be able to recognize these words on sight, hence the term sight words, and when a reader masters sight words, they will be able to understand at least half the words in a particular context. The rate is the speed at which the text is read. There's some really good strategies for building speed. Partner reading, echo reading, and repeated reading really give students the opportunity to practice improving their rate. Prosody is the appropriate use of intonation, phrasing, and expression. Echo reading can be really helpful because it helps students understand and have a model for how to emphasize their expression and intonation. It's also important to pause for punctuation. Finally, by varying your voice, tone, pitch, and volume, that can reflect the meaning of the text and can really influence intonation and expression. Prosody, which is the appropriate use of intonation, phrasing, and expression, can be modeled in this video. Once you finish this presentation, please go back and review this link. In summary, it's important that students read with fluency to increase their understanding. Please review this video at the end of the presentation as well for a summary of fluency. Finally, here are some resources that you can use to review at the end of this presentation. And please check out any references if you have any lingering wonderings or questions about oral reading fluency.